Hello, good afternoon. Happy Monday to you guys. It is Monday, June 8th, and I do apologize. I do have some roofers working, so please know that, and I apologize for the sound. I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know that I did have my Series 7 20 years ago, so please do your risk management when you are trading and do your due diligence. There are varying degrees of risk in trading all sorts of securities instruments. Hello, Kareem, Flash Sovereign, Bat Scientist. Thanks for joining me. So please do your own due diligence. I am not current with my Series 7, so this is all my personal opinion. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the market. Hello, ASIC. All right, so as always, you guys know we had this box of consolidation, and I was saying, hey guys, check it out. Let's see if we go ahead and we break above this. All of that volume for 3 weeks, they were laying a position, right? The big guys were laying their position. If you guys are new to following me, then you will learn that I do go ahead and follow the dark pool prints. So I'm following these big prints from the really big guys that are placing these trades, and they make it possible to rock those trades. So again, 3 weeks of the SPY going sideways. We broke above, boom, we're following on up. We just broke above a trend line here. You can see all these little gray lines. Those are all different levels from the dark pool that I have saved on my chart. And I'll go ahead and pull it down a little bit. We'll stretch it up. So right now, I had this as a trend line here, and we're just holding above it right at the moment. So if we do break below, next potential test down, 316 area, and then on back down, potentially down to that 311 area. We did, we are hovering above that moving average. So having that pullback to the 316 area is definitely a potential. So keep that in mind. Also, this is my list from today, so you guys get to see it. I do my watch list as a newsletter here on Tocker or also on my website, cjandtrade.com, so you can check that out. And I had Apple on the list as a potential trade today, right? So when you look at that, I've got lots of old stuff on here. I got to clean it up. So when you look at it, hey, we had a big bullish day. What did they do? They brought it back to that 4 exponential moving average right here, and then they took it up. So let me clean up the chart a bit there. Get rid of those lines. So we've had this move here. We had higher than normal volume. Hey, if we don't break this right here and we start to go below, this volume in this candlestick might have been selling, right? They made it bullish, but these really big guys are good at making the candles look the way they want to, right? So they could go ahead and take this, hey, yes, it's bullish, everybody should get in, only to turn around and suck up all their shares that they are selling. So keep that in mind. Try to be that skeptic of, hey, we've got this big volume and now we're going sideways today. Are we going to have that bullish candlestick coming up? Actually, this is going to be better, right? Are we going to have that bullish candlestick right here for the next day? Or is this candlestick going to be down here tomorrow, right? Are we going to have that reversal and have it come back down over here? We don't know what's going to happen, but paying attention to the candle today and where this is going might be really interesting, right? Because we have higher than normal volume on one of the majors. One of the really interesting things, when we look at the index, Microsoft and Apple were really big. Well, today, the Qs just went positive on the day. Now, coincidentally, 12:45, we see on that 30-minute chart, 30-second chart, many times that there's crazy volume that comes in at 12:45. I don't know why, it just happens like that. So let's see, did we have that crazy volume today? Yeah, pretty much, right? We had pretty big volume here, bigger back here, but this is a 30-second chart. Let's look and see if that's going to coincide again. Trading is all about patterns. So when you start to patterns, hey, do we have big volume? we had some more volume here about that same time frame, but it looks like it was buying basically on the SPY. Why? Because we're above it right now. Yes, this is such a small time frame, better for scalping than longer term trend trading or swing trading. But when you start to see that, okay, hey, look, 12:30, maybe on Mondays at 12:30, that's when they're going to start putting in their big trades. Try to take note, try to see the patterns that they are developing. Yeah, okay, John Doe, again, you are going to be kicked out. So know that you want to go ahead and follow the patterns that are being placed by the algorithms, placed by the really big guys, okay? So let's look at Microsoft on a regular 5-minute chart. Yes, ASFC, HK, OG. I don't normally trade penny sub-dollar stocks, but I got to show you that trade. I traded on Friday and it rocked. So here we have higher than normal volume, right, at 12:40, and we're pulling back from it right now. When we break it down, we didn't look at the 30 seconds on Microsoft, right? So where did that big volume come in? Almost at the top, right? Right here. Are we below that? Yes. Well, hey, if we go ahead and we break above this at alert, when you pull it down on that really small time frame, you can actually see when it comes in, and you can go ahead and say, all right, well, hey, if it's bullish above this level or bearish below this candlestick, then that could be a huge move in the making, right? So try to note those things. Remember, the charts of a stock are a story being told by the volume, and that's what's going to create the candlesticks. Is it the buyers or the sellers? And where is that volume taking it? Because it's all a little story, right? And you want to be on the right side of that story, and you want to profit. So keep that in mind. Uh-oh. So it's a bit delayed. I've been having issues today with my trading view. It's slow at the moment. Okay, so we already looked at Apple. So looking at the majors, right now they are up, hitting highs, right? So keeping that in mind, we want to watch the volume, see where those high volume candlesticks are, and know where is it going to go from here, right? I think it's a smaller time frame. All that data is killing it. So again, we'll go back to Microsoft. Just wanted to get off it because it froze. So here we are on our 5-minute chart, right? And that happened to also be pretty much the high of post-market on Friday. It looked like it tested and it sold off. Now we could have a bit of, we could have a nice move if we break above here, break above 188 today, because that could go ahead and really pull the market up, right? So keeping that in mind, put it on watch. You don't have to trade everything. The more that you wait for those setups, the better it's going to be, right? So let's look at Boeing. Boeing killed it today. Tesla too, right? I mentioned last week, Tesla, hey, we had this pullback, but we could easily see it surge higher. But right now, let's look at Boeing, okay? So Boeing, it's just been riding this right on up, right? The moving averages, you see right here, this purple one. So we might have that pullback right back down to that 221.50 area before it consolidates and it surges higher. So even though people say, hey, Jane, you've got so many moving averages on your chart, well, guess what? Each chart is going to have an algorithm that's set up to buy or sell on a certain level. And so if you put them on there and you start to see these patterns, different time frames, all right, today, guess what? It's respecting the 50 simple moving average on that 5-minute chart, right? Maybe that's the one for today. So keep those. That's why I have them, is because they work. Okay, now another one, Lucan, on my list. This has a big potential gap. Let's go to our daily, right? It's got some range to it that it could fill this gap, right? Yes, they reported up, you know, it was a $50 stock. Hey, right here, they weren't following proper regulations for their reporting. I'm not sure as of yet if they have gone ahead and they've properly reported, but what I can tell you is that we have a nice big gap, right? We've got a gap fill potential. If we go ahead and we break above 750, we've got $17 move potentially to fill. Now, when we look here on this candlestick right here, massive volume, we are above that massive volume, right? It came down and it tested the high where it closed for the day, pretty much filled that gap back to the downside. And now we're above the moving averages. Obviously, we don't have the full picture of the day, but if we're going to go ahead and break above potentially that 750 area, we might see that $17 move to the upside. So this one is definitely on watch for me as a swing potential because we have the massive volume. This volume was actually higher than this candlestick. So this is the highest volume that we have had ever on Lukin Coffee. So keeping that in mind, we are above that highest volume candle day, right? So where do you want to be on it, right? You want to go ahead and follow that really big volume. Again, we had CCL that on Friday surged higher. And again, today we have another high surge right here. This is on a small time frame, so let's go ahead and remove that, right? So we actually have two gaps that could be filled here. We have a gap right here, $1.79, and we have a gap right here. Not saying that this is going to go to the downside right now, but we could have that fill back down to here. All right, well, let's see. 18, we'll call it 19 to 21.20, two potential. So this has two gaps and it's fairly high and extended. Doesn't mean it's not going to continue. We look back over here even, hey, maybe it's going to close above 25. We have a gap to fill up here too, to 26.50, 26.75. So there's lots of gaps, and many times the computers and algos like to go ahead and fill the gaps. So Asif, you had a question for me? Yes. Well, let's go ahead and also pull up Tesla, right? Tesla right now has a big swing potential, in my opinion, to go ahead and have a nice big move, right? We had this, look, we're hitting a target on my fibs. So you guys see this? Trend line came in, just went ahead and surged higher today. Might have a bit more of a pullback, but overall, let's look at our all-time highs for Tesla, right? We are just shy of breaking out all-time high, right? $969. And you guys know, attention to short volumes, right? Let's pull up Tesla. Yes, Asif, here's the thing. If you're able to trade partial shares, if Tesla goes up $50, you're still making a nice 5%, right? If it's a $1,000 stock. So if it is, it's not fully loading. So Tesla on Friday was 62% short volume. When we go back to it, okay, so the bulls were on board since the 22nd, you could say, and now it's come on up. Hey, the 4th and the 5th, the bears thought that there was a top set in. Well, ouch for those bears, right? The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. Tesla is the perfect example of that. We went ahead and we saw it happen back here, back where we had that spike up to $969. Well, we're getting close again. How painful is it going to get for these shorts? How much pain can they take? How many hedge funds are short Tesla? Oh, well, you know what? It's illogical. They've got, you know, their numbers are looking awful on the fundamentals. But guess what? This technical chart is telling me that this has got some more room to run, right? I feel that we could potentially easily see 980 up to 1100 potentially this week. We could have a nice massive move. When Tesla starts to run, those shorts start to pile in and they think, yes, I'm going to go ahead and make all this money to the downside. And as a result, it just burns them, right? You see, here's 1 day, 2 days. We had a nice range of 810 up to 890, $80 move in 2 days. Well, we just had a $45 move overnight. Are we going to have another $45 move on up to 980 tomorrow? Potential is there. But the potential is also could be that it could pull back. So it's going to depend on where we end up end of day and say, hey, you know, what is the risk as well? We are farther away from that moving average and there is more risk involved. We're hitting a high. This is a double top for the day. And this is going to be that second time. Hey, are there going to be as many sellers up there? Maybe not, because this is the second time that it's come up there. So Tesla, I'm really liking as potential. These guys saw Lucan. Snap is doing well. Baba pulled back today. I wanted to talk to you guys about XOG. I mentioned this on my watch list yesterday. And XOG, if we look back on a 45-minute chart, right? I got into this because I saw it breaking out 33. I saw it breaking above this moving average right here and went ahead to take 50% off the table at 100% profit, locked it at 75 cents today, and then the rest up at 102 up here when I saw that it was starting to pull back and still in 25%. Now, I made 100% on 50% and 200% on 25%. So right now this trade is just going, it has that potential as being in the natural gas. It says extraction of oil and gas, but it's really in that natural gas sector. We can see on our daily chart, hey, it might come up here and test it. I actually had my sell order at 127. I was gonna switch it to 124, which was the high of the day. I should have done it. I was going for this moving average, right? And didn't quite get there. So that's why I went ahead and filled it at 102. Don't get stubborn. Every day that you lock that profit, your account's gonna grow, right? Okay. So CHK, let's go ahead and look at CHK too. Oil is rocking it right now, that whole oil sector, ExxonMobil, CHK, XOG, never even thought of it. So you can see this massive volume too. Who asked for CHK? ASIF, yeah. So this had a massive run. Now I wanna see with right here, how much is in the float for CHK? I know they did do a reverse split, which usually is not a good sign. There's 8 million shares in the float, which is why it had such a amazing run today, is because it is low float. So it would be harder for the shorts to go ahead and short it. And it had that first day, second day, third day, could pull back. That's a really nice range, $40 for the day, right? But low float stocks have that potential to run and double 100% in a day from being a $30 stock to an $80 stock, right? So keep that in mind. And you have to be very careful because as quickly as it can go up, I don't know if it ever had any halts today. No, it doesn't look like it. Sometimes you'll find they get halted. So you could see, hey, 47, well, you had this level back here from pre-market. Guess what? It tested it. Nope, pulled back. Hey, again, just like we're talking about Tesla, having that test. Are there as many sellers? Nope. Guess what? The buyers took over at 11:30 and ran it from 47 right here up to 77. Now we're talking about it and it's starting, that volume is starting to come back in again, but it's pulling back to the downside at the moment. So would really want to see it break. We've already broken this trend right here, right? Or is it testing it? Let's see. Let's draw a real quick trend line. Looks like we already broke it. Yeah, but it came back to that 50 simple moving average. Some volume came in on this candlestick and it's above that volume for now, but it's battling these averages. Potentially a move above 59 and it might have more legs to it. It might run up more to the upside for CHK. They might have a second going into close. Again, those shorts start to get squeezed. It ends up high on the day and it might have that third gap up to it. However, it is very extended away from those averages, so you're higher in at this point for a swing could be potentially higher. With 8.1 million, it should have options associated with it, as they do have to have more than 7 million shares to have options. Well, every time I try to do an alert today, it's giving me an issue. So we'll just ignore the alert. All right. And another one, sorry guys, it's really slow today. It's got issues. So nail is another one. Yesterday, someone during my live chat pulled up Home Depot. So Home Depot, in the building sector, we're going into that renovation season, right? Have you guys ever checked out? I always try to give you guys a little tidbit of what to check out, in that it can go ahead and help you guys, free tools that can help you with your trading, right? So let's go and let's see if I put in HD, if it'll go ahead and pull it up for me. No, it won't. Let's go to just stocks. All right, well, in any event, I would check the seasonality right here. And I would check it out to see, hey, what's going on with the seasonality of Home Depot? In the summer, when everybody's out building, everybody's renovating, you might have home builders building new houses. Then Home Depot and home building companies potentially could have that bigger move during the summer months. So definitely check that out. ASIF, you know what? I feel like right now, I would not be looking at a stock just to short. In potential, it would be go ahead and look for potential end of day swings. Best, oops, aw, snap. Best to go ahead and be done, in my opinion, for day trading. I'm usually done by 11 o'clock. Uh-oh, did you revenge trade, ASIF? That's no bueno, right? So I'm sorry that there's errors with TradingView crashing today. Chart right here. Yeah, that's a good point, G-Man. I didn't think of that. That yes, everybody wants to go out and they want to go get the wood. But really that life experience and what is happening can also drive certain stocks, just like Zoom. That happened with Zoom, right? Everybody during quarantine all of a sudden went to Zoom for their business meetings. Microsoft it was a little bit later to the table. And so Microsoft is now also moving up. Oracle as well is trying to develop online conference rooms, basically. So when you look at that, you also have to look at the real life experience. Remember when Beyond Meat was skyrocketing? Well, that was low float. And Beyond Meat had to do with all the new contracts that were coming out. It was that first name that was really big as an IPO just for the meat replacement. And as a result, it ended up moving quickly and everybody started learning about it. Then when everybody starts to know about it and everybody's, oh, I think I should get into Beyond Meat. That's many times when it's right at the top, when everybody's talking about getting into it. And when you're talking about everybody getting into it, that might be a time at which you're going to take the profits, right? Because at that point, many people start to sell. And that's when the big guys will also get in and they'll go ahead and they will take it down. And all right, I'm having issues with this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm sorry that there's issues with the software at the moment, but we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up and we'll pick it up on Friday at 12:45. If you guys have questions, I also wanted to pull this up. The training pit is where you just go to the dark pool. Training pit is where I teach people all about trading around the dark pool and more. We teach more than just trading. It's more of a community. We lift people up. We want to help you guys in really moving forward and being the best trader that you can be with diligence. And again, I'm sorry that this is frozen. Give it one last try. That's frozen at the moment. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the segment. Is there any question that I can answer without a chart that you guys might have? You can put it in the chat. Or Mike or Zach, do you guys have anything that can be answered without a chart as right now? Question from YouTube. Do you have a strategy for commodity trading? Ooh, we just got XLC alert. That's cool. And it's doing its own thing right now. You know, really, for whoever asked the commodity trading strategy, I would be looking, when you understand the setups, I would also look at seasonality for that commodity. So seasonality, I would also look for dark pool prints. And so I would look for the seasonality, I would look at the prints, and I would look at the chart patterns, right? It's all about patterns. Computers are going to trade off of patterns, price levels, and in particular pivots that are going to play a big part in futures and commodities trading. I'm in the process of paper trading futures, going ahead and taking these skills and putting it into the futures market for the risk management, everything like that. So know that even if you are a trader, if you're learning that new strategy, go ahead and try to paper trade it, because you got to prove it to yourself before you start putting in that real capital. All right. And to answer your question of ASIF at the training pit, it's not really penny stocks. It's more large caps where we see these big dark pool prints, and we follow those massive dark pool prints. We have some amazing ones that came in today, even some really, really exciting ones, but I'll talk to you guys about them on Friday. Okay. But we have some big moves that we're definitely going to be seeing in the market. And I will share it with you guys. If you guys want it in real time, come on over to the training pit. If it's, you know, worth $99 to know what these guys are doing, then check it out, because you could easily make that money back in one trade. And we have them happen every single day, and we have multiple ones. All right. So have a great week. I will see you all on Friday. If you guys have questions, you can also email me at jane@cjanetrade.com. Thanks, guys. Have a great week ahead.
The risk of loss in trading commodity interests can be substantial. You should therefore carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition, and considering whether to trade or to authorize someone else to trade for you. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
The TickerTalker app brings the powerful trading technology tools of the TickerTalker desktop platform into the hands of its users who are